Hello everyone, welcome to this session of MRCOG courses. This is Dr. Bhavna Khera, Chief Mentor and Founder of MRCOG courses. So very warm welcome to this session. As you all have demanded and you all wanted to know about how to go about Part 2 exam. First thing is, let me congratulate you. You have done beautifully well in your Part 1 exams and now you are ready for your Part 2 exam. That's really a great thing. But are you feeling scared? How are you feeling about it? So this is what I have I get from my students over the years, how they feel for Part 2 exam. So I'm going to break all those myths and going to define a success path for all of you. So let's go through it. Of course, this picture is one of my very favorite pictures. You remember this is a very, very beautiful day which stays alive for in your memories for a long, long time. And this makes every effort really worth. So once you will reach there, you will really forget all your struggles, all your sweat, whatever things you have done for your particular journey. So let's see how it goes. So myth number 1, is it really scary? I have seen people who are going to go for the Part 2. They really feel scared. They think that it is really a difficult thing. Even I have seen people not starting for the MRCOG because just thinking of the Part 2. So is Part 2 really scary? What do you think? Pass rate is only 15 to 20%. This is what you have heard till now. So let's look at this data. This is the data. This is the percentage of the students appearing in various categories. So if you take it as 100%, the only 40% people, a big chunk, they go prepared only with the recalls or just they want to see how the exam is because they have that impression in their mind that it is a tough thing. So they need to go and have an experience and then appear with a preparation next time. Almost 40% students go like this. What's going to happen? God forbid. Then this is another chunk of students who go with just one reading. So as they go with one reading, they are almost 20-25% of the students here in this category. So they just go with one reading of guidelines and some information here and there, practicing in various free groups and all these things. Okay, so do you think it is possible? No, it becomes really difficult. Of course, luck can go, or somebody could be very genius to crack the exam through this route also. But I'm talking of an average student. Then there is this third chunk, again a big chunk you see, partial question practice. What happens is when you are reading guidelines, your books are not according to your questions are not according to your guidelines, right? Many of the books are not even according to their modules also. So there is quite jumbling up of questions. So very difficult to go in such questions when you are reading a guideline. So partial question practice. Some books you solve, some you don't solve. So not very good. So again, a partial preparation. Only 20% of the students, they go with full focused preparation. They have read their guidelines, they have read all the study material, and they have focused their all work on questions and recalls, everything, and they go prepared. Now, out of this 20%, if the pass rate is 15 to 20% overall, so isn't it nearly 100%? Yes, it is more than 80-90%. So is it really scary? No. The problem is lack of focus. This is myth number 2. If I am to appear for the July exam, I don't have adequate months. So why I start now? I'll start after my Part 1 result. I'll start from March and then I'll appear in next January. Is it a right thing to do? Why? You have appeared in your Part 1 exam. Start reading for Part 2. 4-5 months is enough for the Part 2 exam if you are Again, if you are focused, if you are targeted, if you are going in a planned way, sweetheart, then it becomes very, very easy. So never say it is not adequate months for July exam. Still there is adequate months for July exam. You just need to have a clear vision for your target. So again, earlier you start, earlier you excel. Leaders have to be earlier. If you want to lead a group, you have to start early. So why wait for the result? Start early. Okay, so again, the second myth broken down, not adequate months for July exam. You can do it. So start today. Myth number 3, part 2 exam needs long hours of study. Oh my God, I've got long duties. I've got night duties. I've got small kids. I have to take care of my in-laws, my parents. There are many people around the home. I need long hours of study. I just can't take those long hours of study. Actually, it's not. It's the consistency. It's your persistence and using a user-friendly type of things which make your journey easier. If you can read about MRCOG while cooking, if you can read about your MRCOG while commuting, isn't it a good thing to do? So basically, once you are doing this while doing your normal course, while doing your normal work, if you are able to prepare for the MRCOG, why you need long hours of study? No, you don't need long hours of study. If you have a user-friendly material, you can just put that on. You are doing your cooking, you are doing your laundry, you are taking care of your kids. Okay, fine. You are preparing your MRCOG. That's a world. Today, nobody can go in just one direction. You have to be multitasked. So if some material gives you that freedom of multitasking, then this myth is also broken. So no long periods of study are required. Myth number 4. In some of the countries, people are already practicing on guidelines. They are already following RCOG guidelines. So they think that since they have read the guidelines, so they can answer RCOG questions or they can pass exam easily. Again, a myth. I'm sorry to say it's again a myth because RCOG has its own perspective. You have to answer questions from the RCOG's vision. So understanding the tips and tricks of answering the questions and formulating the rules is a very, very important thing. So once you formulate the rules for yourself, you are okay with the concept what that you get to develop that RCOG mindset and RCOG vision, then it becomes very, very easy. So again, the next myth is broken. I am already well versed with the guidelines. You need something beyond that, some vision beyond those guidelines. Just reading the guidelines is not enough. What are the sources? Now, we have to have a good, sumptuous dish we are looking for. MRCOG part 2, we take it as a good sumptuous dish. So what are the ingredients which can make up that dish sweet? We need to read great top guidelines. We need to read nice guidelines. Then there are scientific impact papers. Then strategy is a very, very good source. And TOG is a journal of RCOG. It is published quarterly. So every year you have 4 journals, right? At least last 3 years of the journals are important, and some topics are actually covered by TOGs only. They are not covered by the guidelines. So these articles you have to read even if they date back to 5 years, 10 years back, because that is the main source of information there. So important TOG articles. So, and finally, of course, the recalls are always, always important. So in ingredients, we need to go through green top guidelines. We need to go through nice guidelines, scientific impact papers, TOGs, recalls, and strategy. So these are all our reading sources. Modules or number of dishes to be prepared. So the syllabus is divided into these modules: clinical skills, teaching and research, core surgical skills, post-operative care, antenatal care, maternal medicine, management of labor, management of delivery, postpartum problems, gynecological problems, subfertility, sexual and reproductive health, early pregnancy care, gynecological oncology, urogyne, and pelvic floor problems. So basically, like in part 1, you used to have subjects, right? Here we have modules. We have to cover these modules, and these are the number of dishes we have to be finally ready with all those ingredients which we talked of in the last slide. So this is the one which is required. Now, are the questions framed module-wise? There is quite an overlap of questions. I'll give you an example. Like you have a question about the vulva, okay? Vulval lesions. They can be benign vulval lesions. There can be ulcers, some infective ulcers. Now, infective ulcers will not be covered in the benign gynae. They will be covered in a sexual health module, right? So what happens? You have a partial information from one module and you have a partial information from the other module. So finally, you have to sum up that information to bring up a correct answer to your question. So there is quite an overlap of these modules when we are answering our questions. What is exam format? There are two types of questions, single best answers and extended batching questions. You all are very well versed with the single best answers. You have a stem and then you have 5 options, right? So you choose one best option. So that is a single best answer. But what it is important is extended matching question, which is exactly different from the single best answers. So what is EMQ? In EMQ, you have some common stem, common scenario. You have a scenario which is around particular topic. Like I gave you example of vulva. So you have 3 questions of vulva. One may be from the lichen sclerosis, one may be from the malignancy, and one may be from the infective ulcer on the vulva. And you have a common options like 18, 20 options in common for all these 3 questions. Now you will have to go and pick up the answer from this particular options. So basically here 3 modules, different modules are taken care of. So EMQs is a very good way of judging that what is your knowledge level, because you cannot just think of any answer and just tick it by any method or by applying any rule. You really need a true knowledge to answer EMQs. So now if somebody like makes a notes like this, that there is a vulva and now these are the questions you can get from the infection, these are the questions you can get from the lesions, these are the things you can get from the malignancies, then once you read like this, it becomes very easy when you go to the exam. So extended matching questions is a big deal for part 2. You need to learn the tricks to solve the EMQs, and that is how you have to learn the flow charts. What happens after this? What happens after this? Next step, next step. Accordingly, you will have to answer your EMQ questions. This is the green top guideline example. You have executive summary in front. The bold lines, they are very important points and you need to remember them very thoroughly and formulate your rules according to these green top guidelines. At the back, there is algorithm. These algorithms or the flow charts which are present in green top guidelines are very important sources for extended batching questions, right? So you have to go through these flow charts very cautiously. Small words like a difference between or and, that makes a huge difference, okay? Because in your EMQ options, you will have like you have amniotic fluid index and the estimated fetal weight. So you want to look at both AFI and effective estimated fetal weight, or it is AFI or estimated fetal weight. Now 2 options will be like this. If you haven't read the flow chart very nicely And if somebody has not pointed out this point particularly to you, it is very liable that you can miss that point, and that will make a difference in your EMQ. And if you have seen in the previous slide, EMQ, although they are 50% of the questions are EMQ and 50% are single best answers, but the worth of the EMQ is much more. It is 60%. So we really need to work on the EMQs and understand these flowcharts very thoroughly and formulating the rules. What are the keywords? What will be the rule? And what will be the answer? These all have to be very clearly formulated in the mind. This is NICE guideline. This is a sample of NICE guideline. Then you can see how the NICE guideline presents. You can see this is the page of ultrasound diagnosis of ectopic pregnancy. So some are the signs which confirm that it is ectopic pregnancy. Some make it highly probable, and some are like possibility of ectopic pregnancy. So very clearly you have to focus on each and every word. NICE guidelines are particularly very important when a question of EMQ comes. Okay, NICE guidelines have to be read by heart, one by one word, taking care of each and every word and understanding the difference between the points. These are scientific impact papers. Some of the topics in which proper guidelines are not yet formulated, they have scientific impact papers about that. Okay, so this is the laser treatment for genitourinary syndrome of menopause. This is a very recently published scientific impact paper. So over a period of time, new papers keep on coming. Okay, so as the new papers keep on coming, you have to review them, and they are important source of questions for the exam, particularly your single best answers. So these need to be covered. TOG, I already told you, TOG is a general of RCOG, and you need to cover it for the at least last 3 years, and you need to have a list of TOGs which are important. So that is how the TOG needs to be covered. These are the various question books which need to be solved. Latest ones are there. There are some older ones also. Some are older, but really they are very beautiful questions. Answers might have changed with the guidelines, but the questions formulated are very nice, and you can have really a picture of exam questions. So it is actually part 2 exam is like maths. So if you have fixed rules, means you have learned the formula of the maths. Okay. If you remember from your maths days, you used to have some formulas, and then you used to cram up that formula and then apply on the question, right? This is what we always used to do in our maths. Same thing is here. We need to fix the rules from the guideline, and then we have to apply. Nobody can just go to exam reading only guideline, okay? Because once you start applying it to questions, you understand how RCOG wants the answers. The more questions you practice, the more things goes into seep into you, and that becomes a reflex type of reaction. You will be able to answer your questions reflexively. Okay, so the more the practice, the more better you are. These books, of course, now I think you must be knowing why I told you that many of the students go with partial question practice. Searching questions from all these books and then answering, of course, takes effort and time. You must be feeling something like that. Oh my God, ma'am has told me so much of guidelines, so much of books, what to do, too much mess around. I don't know how to cook the recipe. Don't worry. If you have a targeted, guided, and strategic plan, you just need to be targeted, guided with a strategic plan. Degree is not far away from you. It's almost just in front of you. So the next question arises, how to make a strategic plan. So what is a strategic plan? So let's see, what are the ways of preparing the exam? This is one way of preparing. You might have seen this type of lists in certain groups. They make you read one guideline in one day. Like this schedule is given. Seems very, very interesting because every day you are reading one guideline. There is a formulated schedule and you cover up all guidelines. But there are so many guidelines. SIPs are there, TOG articles are there. So it takes almost 5-6 months to read once these guidelines with this type of flow. So what is pros and cons? Pros are, of course, you read all guidelines and you cover syllabus once. But what are the cons? Long way, 6 months, 5 months, you are taking just once to read those. Question books don't have questions-wise guidelines. Very difficult. If you are reading one guideline today and you have to look in 10 books for 10 questions, just for 10 questions, you are going to waste 3-4 hours. So you need long hours of study looking for the questions based on guideline. EMQs, I already told you, they might not be just from one guideline. They might have overlapping things. Also, sometimes in questions, like if they give you a thromboprophylaxis question, they also add a component of SGA there. So now you need to know 2 guidelines. Similarly, twins plus SGA. What to do? So you need 2 guidelines together. So single guideline, just reading and going through it, it's a difficult journey, bumpy journey, long journey. Now, some people cover syllabus module wise. You cover one module, finish it, go to next module, finish it. Valva questions is a good answer. Don't you have overlap of modules? This type of picture you see in your questions, everything is overlap. So, journey is long. You don't need see any end. And finally, you become tired. Scene is also not very beautiful. Difficult to write. Why not follow the shortest path? What is the shortest path? Road to success. You have topic-wise study material. Like if you have male infertility, if you are talking of male infertility, you don't have to go and look into the NICE guideline. You don't have to go in to look at the NICE, at the male infertility TOG article. So you don't have to go and look at various sources for the male infertility. You have a ready information, 15-20 minutes information about the male infertility, and in which it is clearly mentioned that if the scenario is this, the answer is going to be this. If it is scenario is this, answer is going to be this. So topic-wise study material. Similarly, if somebody works for you and makes your questions defined topic-wise, okay, like you are reading male infertility, you have got male infertility questions in your hand. You are practicing them simultaneously. Work has been done for you. You don't have to go and look for the questions. Already pre-formed worksheets are there. You just have to open up the worksheet and take out the PDF, which has all the information from strategy, from NICE, and from TOG articles. You don't have to go and look, because male infertility has 2 TOG articles, like one old TOG article, one new TOG article. Then there is a strategy. Then there is NICE infertility. So 4 sources are there from where you have to read male infertility. If all this information is included in just a single PDF of 20-25 PowerPoint slides or a 30 minutes video, how does it seem to be? Does it seem to be palatable? Yes, of course, it becomes easy. So topic-wise study material, topic-wise question practice. Of course, just one reading cannot bring the things into you and cannot bring them into the reflex part. So you need repeated revisions. So how the repeated revisions are possible? If you are just reading one guideline per day, you are already going it for the 6 months. So how will you do repeated revisions? So repeated revisions, if you are working like this, under a guided plan, then you have a schedule where after 2 modules, we do a test of the previous module. So now you have to revise. So in between repeated revisions, make you fresh with all the modules, and it comes into your spinal reflex. Like you start driving, first few days you have to pay really a concentration. Once you are well versed with it, then it is easy to drive even with the music. Similarly, with repeated revisions, it becomes fixed in your reflex action. You don't have to go back to guidelines again and again. Continuous support is very important, because this is a journey where we are following along with our family commitments, along with our work commitments. Things are going to change each day. New challenges are coming up. How to solve and overcome these challenges, and in sense of maintaining our concentration on the study. Continuous support and continuous motivation is must. Finally, before you go for the exams, recalls and mocks, that gives a final polish to your preparation. And then there is a road to success. The cup is all there waiting for you. Now, how to choose course mentor? So, we have just now seen the topic theme-based teaching covering full course from all sources. So if it is topic or theme-based teaching, but covers full source, it becomes very easy for you to palette it. So it becomes user-friendly. So any mentor who is giving you training in a user-friendly way, which you can take it as on the go. Like I told you, male infertility summed up in a 30 minutes video. You are commuting, you just put an earplug and you can listen to that 30 minutes video, or you can listen to it in 15 minutes break, and you are okay with the male infertility topic. Okay. Similarly, every topic has this type of a thing. You just have to plug in, listen to it, and you are very well versed with it. Right? So that becomes a very user-friendly material. So right direction to study, what to study, choosing the right source of material is very, very important. Then summarizing that material and bringing a dish in front of you so that you can eat that dish directly. You don't have to go into the kitchen, search for salt, sugar, and everything and make your own dish. No, dish is already prepared for you. So direction, motivation, success, goal, everything is to be brought on a single platform. So topic theme-based teaching is the best one, which can make your process very, very easy. Guideline-based teaching takes a long route, and it takes a very, very tough path, and repeated revisions are not possible. If you go topic-wise, theme-based, like if you are talking of vulva, talk everything about the vulva. If you are talking of urinary tract infection, talk urinary tract infection overall, even if with the pregnancy, with non-pregnancy. So if you are taking any topic, complete it from all aspects. To make it topic or theme-based, this helps in answering your EMQs very, very well. Right? Because EMQ, there is a lot of overlap between the guidelines. There is a lot of overlap between the modules. So go topic-based, theme-based, and cover complete syllabus. Who can guide you right? Mentor who has done this himself is the best person to do so. Single mentor takes responsibility of full course. Because now, if one mentor is teaching you benign vulva, and the one mentor is teaching you infections of the vulva, so he doesn't know what the other person has taught. So a complete perspective or complete picture cannot be painted in front of you. But a single mentor, if he is talking about the benign lesions also, and if he is the same person talking about the infections also, so he knows that how to overlap these things and bring a clear picture in front of you. So if single mentor is teaching, that is always a benefit and easily approachable. You should be easily approach the person, and you should be able to ask your queries, discuss everything, and you should be able to get a support. So finally, everything is ready. You don't have to cook. Easiest and the quickest way, plate is ready to relish. What are the add-ons? Referrals discounts we provide with $30 per referral. If you have any friend joining in, you really have a $30 discount direct. Always you can take that discount yourself as a primary person, or you can divide it with your friend. The benefit which nobody else gives you, one recharge with lifetime validity. We understand that there are multiple issues you face in your life. So sometimes you may not be able to appear for your targeted exam due to any reasons. So once you enroll with us, you stay lifetime with us. Even for your, like you pass part 2 exam, for your part 3 also you need your guidelines. You need to revise the guidelines. So why should your access finish after the part 2? And you go and then take up guidelines for the part 3 somewhere else? Why? So part 3 guidelines will remain with you. You just go a step further and read whatever next is required. But your guidelines access will remain throughout your part 3 exam. And guidelines are not just for exam. They help you throughout life while managing patients. So why should your access end here? Access continues throughout till the time you want it. Okay, nothing to pay extra for this access. It just continues and continues. Once you pay the fees, it continues totally. So one recharge, lifetime validity, something really you should be looking for. Can I help you with anything else today? If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask. This is what our students say about us, our happy students. So they really, I am obliged to them that they are so good. They make us feel proud, and this is something, a biggest or the precious gift of life which you get while teaching and mentoring. So let's come together and talk about part 2 MRCOG, walk through the MRCOG journey together to achieve success. Our contact number, our groups, most of you are already connected to us on our groups. So you can keep following us, and whenever you need our help, you can be in touch with us. Those who have missed their session, we will be putting this recording in the group, so you will be able to access that. If you have any questions, you are very welcome to ask. Any questions? Okay, thank you so much for joining. Your feedback, your questions are always welcome. MRCOG courses is always there to help you. You can ask all your queries. This is the number available on WhatsApp, Telegram, everywhere. So you can just text us, call us, or join our groups and write our messages there. Thank you so much for your patient listening, and looking forward for your successful journey with us. Thank you.